Welcome back, all you beautiful people. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy almost 2022. In today's video, we're going to unpack two different topics. Number one, we're going to talk about Tesla's delivery numbers for Q4. I didn't post yesterday because I want to get these rumored numbers to come out first before I started plugging into my model. So we're going to take a look at that and make some predictions for what will probably come out on Sunday or maybe Monday. And then we're also going to take a look at my top 8 predictions for 2022. So these are going to be some pretty bold predictions. Some of them you might not expect. They might be coming out of left field. And some of them you might be upset about. So make sure you stick to the end to catch them all. But before we do that, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. Don't forget to get your merch over here. I have the description down below, or the link for the merch store down below. Been a long year, all right? But with that said, let's get into it. Before we look at our Tesla Q4 predictions, we need to understand where some of our numbers are coming from. So take a look at this. Just as a refresher, here's our made in China numbers that we've been tracking. And these, get released for what was exported from China and what was domestically sold. And so if you remember, October, we had a total aggregate of 54,391. And for November, we had 52,859. So I just want you to see these numbers so you understand where I'm pulling them from. Now, with that said, let's jump into my model. So here's my model. Let me explain to you what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to fill out my low, medium, and high predictions. And then come Sunday or Monday, we'll go ahead and compare that to the actuals. Now, before we do that, look over here. 265,000 to 275,000 is what the analysts are predicting. Okay, that's the range. On the low end, we're seeing about 265. On the high end, we're seeing about 275,000. So knowing that, right here, we can see those. Knowing that, let's take a look at what I think will happen. And so if we start up here first, we're going to take a look at Fremont. So here we can see I've just aggregated all of these numbers. And what I'm predicting for Q4 is essentially just to continue what we did from Q3. So you can see here for the Model 3s, I'm predicting about 50,000. For Model Y, I'm predicting about 50,000. And then for the Model X, just about 1,000 vehicles. And Model S, about 13,000. So this is going to be on the low end. This is what I'm predicting. So essentially just par for the course, right? Nothing crazy. If you look at this from Q3 to Q4, it's literally, 5,000 vehicles more. That's it. And keep in mind, Fremont is ramping, right? That's still going on. This is Q4, their highest quarter, right? And even then, if you compare this Q4 of 2021 to Q4 of 2020, 113,000. So we'd only be doing about 1,000 more vehicles. So this is extremely conservative in my estimation. Now, if we come down here to China, we're not going to break this up between the Y and 3. And the reason is because we really don't know the actual breakout or makeout of those numbers. But what we do know is the total aggregate of domestic sold versus exported. And that's where this 107,250 comes from. This goes back to what I was just showing you, right? The total made in China sold for October and for November aggregated together. Now, what's missing here? What's missing here is our December number. And this is why I waited to make this video. According to Tesla China analysts, or Tesla analyst China, if you aren't familiar, you should follow their Twitter page. They pretty much only tweet about domestic sales in Tesla out of Giga Shanghai. Now, except for one quarter, they have essentially been dead nuts accurate every single time. So they have some source internally. And the reason they waited until today around 8:30 a.m. to release their number was because they want to make sure they had the most accurate number possible. And believe it or not, we had yet another record-breaking number. So what they said for domestic sales was 70,000 vehicles. 70,000 vehicles. This is a record yet again, which we shouldn't be surprised. I've been telling you, we're going to have a record on top of record on top of record every single quarter. Okay, we are in that S-curve. We are in that exponential phase, right? We're not going to see linear growth. We're just not, especially with 2 new factories coming on. But this is not about those. We're talking about Tesla China right now. So for my low end, what I'm going to assume is that 70,000 is all that Tesla was able to do. And it all went domestically. And the reason for that is because Tesla China, or China in general, they're rounding out the end of these special EV credits that they're getting, and they expire at the end of 2021. So there's been a big push to make sure that, Tesla gets these vehicles out so that people can take advantage of these rebates, these discounts, these credits. And so if we assume that Tesla just didn't export any vehicles and all we got was that 70,000, we'll just go ahead and add this in here, 70,000. We get a total of 177,250 vehicles for just Tesla China. As an aggregate between China and Fremont, we get a total of 291,250 vehicles. This brings us for a total year. Let me make sure these numbers are right. Yep. Check over here. Yep. Okay, these are right. This is just an aggregation of what we saw Q1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is Fremont total of just under 500,000. And again, Shanghai just under 500,000 as well. Comes out for a 2021 total aggregate of 918,600 vehicles. So this is my low end. So let's put this in here for the prediction. So here, I'm just going to say 200 and, actually, you know what we'll do? We'll just put it this. Actually, yeah, let's just 291,250. Okay. So we'll come back and we'll compare this let me make this a little prettier, but come Monday or Sunday, depending on whenever the numbers get released. So what's my median prediction? Well, my median prediction is really not that much more different. So what I anticipate is that we actually got about 15,000 Model S's here. And I think that we would have had probably about, an extra like 5,000 for Model Ys over here. And that's just mainly because I think we're seeing more of a ramp up with Model Ys. I think there's more demand. And as far as the S and X, if Model S did 9,000 in Q3, they have an ability to do about 20,000 a quarter in my estimation. And so I have to imagine they're getting closer to fully ramping up the Model S if they have just started the X. And 1,000 for the X, I think that's pretty conservative. We're seeing X's go out, so we know they're producing them. So these are my adjustments for Fremont. Now for China, my adjustments are a little different. My adjustments would be to add an additional, say, 5,000 for exported vehicles. And so that brings us to a total of 303,250 vehicles for the quarter. And for the year, it puts us at 930,000 vehicles. All right, yet again, another record breaking. But I think you can see based on my numbers here, none of this is just crazy or outlandish. So let's go ahead and fill this in here. We'll put 303 and 250. And again, the whole point of putting these here for my prediction to actual so we can compare and I can see what's working, what's not in the future. Now, for my high end, and again, I don't think my high end is crazy. Again, we're going to modify this a little bit. I think we might see about 17,000 vehicles here. And I think for the Model Y, I think we might have actually gotten to 60,000 out of Fremont. So this would be essentially a record-breaking year for the Model Ys out of Fremont. But again, keep in mind, this is still under 500,000 vehicles, and we know Fremont has the ability to do 600,000 vehicles. So I think this is still pretty conservative. Now, for Tesla Shanghai, my estimation isn't really changing that much. All I'm saying is that perhaps we exported 10,000 vehicles, not 5,000. So what does that do? That brings us our total up to 315,250 vehicles, and for the year puts us at 942,600 vehicles. So this is my high-end prediction. It's a bit out there. But I think a lot of these numbers are pretty rational, and I don't think they're too far off the mark. What's interesting, though, is even my low end is higher than the high end for the analysts. So I think the analysts have this really wrong, especially if this rumored 70,000 vehicles tends to be is accurate yet again. And, if, Tesla China analysts has been accurate for all these times, and if they are accurate again, then analysts have grossly missed the mark on this one, which has happened pretty much every single quarter that we've seen for a while now. So these are my predictions as far as Tesla quarterly deliveries and for the full year. Interested to see what you guys think, so leave a comment down below about what your number is. But with that said, let's jump into my top 8 predictions for 2022. Number 8 for my predictions for 2022 is that we're going to have a massive ramp of the 4680 batteries. We are finally going to see the 4680 batteries come to fruition. We'll see them in Austin first, and then we'll see them in Berlin. And I have a feeling that we're going to see the Kato plant be delivering batteries for the Tesla semis. And I estimate that they are already doing that, and that's why we're delivering some semis now to companies like Pepsi. So with that said, I think 4680 is going to be a big deal. I think we're going to start to see that effect in the margins, and we're going to start to see this transition from the 2000 series to these 4000 series batteries. So this is not the craziest call, but it is something we've been waiting for. But I at least want to make this prediction that I do think that 4680 will finally be realized in 2022. And all those naysayers who say that, this is just another housing and that's all it is, they're wrong. This is a new technology. This is tabless. This is dry electrode. I mean, there's so much new that's going on in this, and it's a new manufacturing process in general, right? So there should be a lot of efficiencies with that, a lot of cost reductions, more power, more range. There's a lot of upside to this. 4680 batteries matter. And not just to some of the vehicles, not just the semi or Cybertruck, but also for the eventual $25,000 vehicle. So 4680 battery actually happening, and my prediction would be around mid-years when we really start to see that come out into the fold. So that's number 8. These get crazier as we go. So let's go on to number 7. Number 7, Berlin and Austin will ramp faster than what we expect. China, Giga Shanghai, ramped at 150,000 vehicles in their first year. My estimation is that Berlin and Austin will be faster than this. Now, if I had to be a little conservative on this prediction, it would be that maybe Berlin won't, Austin will. I think Austin will be full throttle, full steam ahead. I think that Austin is going to be just off the charts. Berlin, it may get a little bit of a slower start, and that just has to do with just regulations in general in Germany. But I think both of these are actually going to be extremely underreported and underestimated by analysts and by everybody. So mark my words, Berlin and Austin, I think will ramp up a lot faster than people predict, and I think this is going to be a shock to the stock price in a positive way. Number 6, and this one might be a little disappointing for some of you out there. I'm predicting that we do not see Cybertruck until Q4 of 2022. So maybe around the middle of Q4 or towards the end of Q4. I think there's still some bugs to figure out with the Cybertruck. One notable one is what they're going to do for the windshield wipers. They have some patents for lasers and things of that nature, but it doesn't seem like that's something that's actually being done. Where do they house the windshield wipers? They're trying to figure that out. I don't think this is a very complicated task to figure out, but I think there's still some design features and design ideas that haven't been implemented or haven't been solved in the way Tesla wants to. And I don't think Tesla's in a rush to get this product out before it's actually ready, especially with competition out there like the Hummer, like the F-150 coming with Rivian. So Tesla, I think, is more of the approach of let's just do this right. We're not here just to get a product out, and they want to make sure that they cover all their bases. So much to my dismay as well, because I am a reservation holder, I do think Cybertruck will happen in 2022, but I don't think it'll happen till the end of the year. So good news and bad news on that front, and I'm more than happy to be wrong about this one, and I hope I am. Number 5, I think the mainstream media, I think everybody is all these analysts are about to realize in 2022 that despite competition, meaning GM, Ford, Volkswagen, Rivian, Lucid, China, despite this competition, we're going to see Tesla continue to be dominant. Okay, I call it the Apple effect. At the end of the day, no matter how much competition was out there, people wanted an iPhone. That's what people wanted. They didn't care what Nokia came out with. They didn't care what BlackBerry came out with. They didn't care what Motorola came out with. They wanted an iPhone. They wanted the Apple product. And I think the same goes for Tesla. Keep in mind, it is still Tesla's market when it comes to EVs. You tell someone, hey, I'm getting an EV. They say, oh, you're getting a Tesla. What model? That's still the narrative. If you tell somebody that these other companies are coming for the competition, all you hear is that Tesla has competition or Tesla is going to have competition coming. You don't hear, oh, here comes the competition for VW or Toyota or GM or Ford. No, the whole narrative is that Tesla is going to have competition. But what I think we're going to see in 2022 is people start to come to the realization that people don't want a Bolt. People don't want this GM Hummer, which I think is not going to be as popular as people might think it is. People want Teslas. And I think that's going to come across. And I think we're going to see more Chinese vehicles come to the United States and become more popular as well. I think China will be equivalent to Samsung as Tesla was to Apple. That's how I see this playing out. This is my bold prediction. I think in 2022, we're going to start having a realization of this. Number 4, and surprisingly, this is not my number 1. Number 4 is FSD beta to level 4 status. I think FSD, whether regulators think it is or not, I think FSD will be considered a level 4 by the end of 2022. Some of this has to do with the fact that Elon Musk mentioned this on Lex Fridman, and that's, Elon's guesstimation. So I don't think anyone should hold Elon to that. He asked a question, he gave his best idea, his best prediction. But at the rate that I have been watching FSD beta progress, I really think that in 2022, we will get to a level 4 type status. Whether regulators, believe it is there or not, that's a whole other story. But it's very much a Trojan effect where Tesla keeps sending out these these updates to all these people who are getting the correct safety score, and they're getting more and more beta testers out there. I think eventually there's just gonna be so many out there. They're gonna have so much data. They're gonna have so much training material. Dojo comes online, right? I just think that it's just gonna keep getting better, faster and faster. It's not a linear improvement. I think it's gonna be exponential. And on top of that, Elon has been saying that he keeps seeing all of the, disengagements or the interventions. He sees the whole picture, and he's seeing it come down, 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 down. So the less disengagements, the less interventions, the better. Right? That's how we know the true progress. And that's what Elon's basing his prediction on for level 4 by 2022. So I think that's a very bold prediction. I do still think that by 2025, we'll start to see robo-taxis. So this would probably be ahead of where my actual predictions are. So that's number 4. Let's jump on to number 3, which you may not like. So in number 3, which I am more than happy to be wrong about this. In fact, I hope I'm wrong about this. However, I don't think I am. I don't think we're going to see a stock split for Tesla in 2022. Yeah, I know. A lot of you are disappointed hearing that. And, just because I'm saying it doesn't mean it's true. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I want there to be a stock split. If for no other reason, I get it. Everybody talks about this. It doesn't change the value of the company or anything. But you know what it does do? It allows more people into Tesla. Gives people more ability to buy stock in Tesla. And you get the people who have the arguments, you can already buy fractional shares, doesn't really make a difference. It does make a difference because people don't want to say, I own a 10th of Tesla. People want to say, yeah, I own 10 shares of Tesla. That's what people want to say, right? And there's a feeling, right? There's a feeling about owning something, not a 10th of something. So I think this would have a big difference on the stock price. I think we would see material new investors, new retail investors coming into the fold. But it also gives credence and confidence that the management believes Tesla has a long way to run. So I don't think we're going to see a stock split. I think we're going to stay where we're at right now. And I would love to see a stock split. I just would, just for my own personal greed and my own bank account. But I don't think we're going to see another stock split this year. So hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. Number 2, and this might be my boldest prediction. And you know what? I have no real reason to believe it's going to be accurate or it's going to be right. But nevertheless, my prediction for number 2 in 2022 is that Mary Barra will be ditched by GM and be removed as CEO. So this is quite the prediction, in my opinion. I really think that she is sending the company in the wrong direction. I don't think she's doing the right things. I don't think she's saying the right things. And I think she's going to get a vote of no confidence sooner than later coming into 2022. When we start to see what happens with the Hummer, when we start to see what happens with the Bolt, when we start to see what Ford does, right? Because I think GM's really going to measure themselves, not to Tesla, but to Ford. And if Ford's starting to do a lot better, and they're already doing better than what GM's doing, I think they're going to have a kind of vote of no confidence in Mary Barra, and they're going to find a replacement for her. So again, I have no reason to actually think this is going to happen other than just what I'm seeing. And, I'm GM, I'm watching them, and they're not doing anything. They're really not. Whereas at least Ford has Mustang Mach-E's out there. They're going to have the F-150 soon, right? All right, GM has halted the Bolt. They have all these investments in battery research and all these things, but they're not producing anything. The Hummer apparently just got released, but again, this is a vehicle that was already not popular to begin with. And this was back in the mid-2000s. So why would it be popular now in the age of EVs? I just don't see it personally. I don't think it's a very attractive vehicle. If it were me and I had my choice, I would get an F1 Lightning over a GM Hummer. I just would. And I would get a Rivian over, well, I'd probably get F-150 Lightning over the Rivian, to be honest. But that's just me. At the end of the day, I would take a Cybertruck over any of them. So that's why I have those on order. But that's my number 2 prediction. So, that's a bold one. That's one that it's probably, 95% chance of being wrong. But that's why we make these bold predictions here, so we can be kept accountable. And you know what? It's fun. But on to number 1 prediction for 2022. My number 1 prediction for 2022 is that Tesla reaches a stock price of $2,000. That's right, $2,000. And frankly, I think that's conservative. According to my models, Tesla should probably be at $2,000 right now. But I think we'll finally see that in 2022. We're going to start to see a lot of analysts revise their estimates upwards. We're already seeing it. We're seeing $1,200, $1,400. We have $1,800 price target out there. And what we've known is that these analysts are always wrong. And they're always wrong to the downside. So I think that we will hit 2,000 this year. Don't know when, don't know how, don't know why, don't know what's going to be the catalyst to send it there. But I think we will see a $2,000 stock price this year. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are my 8 top predictions. Bold and out there on some of them, but those are my predictions, nevertheless, for 2022. Listen, I hope you all have a fantastic New Year's. Please be safe. Please enjoy the time with your family. Ignore all the work drama. Ignore the stock market. Ignore everything else. Just live in the present. Okay, enjoy the time you're there. You don't know what tomorrow holds, but we know that tonight should be a special time with friends and family. All right, we're going to leave it there. I'll see you all next year. All right, so I love you all. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, and until next year, peace.